We're going to talk about our election we just went through and why do I believe we voted Liberals again after 10 years of bad policies and bad results. So I'm going to talk about emotions versus merit and then also behavioral patterns. Those are things I'm going to talk about. Basically what happens is we try to put in the right people that people will get behind so they can emotionally get excited about. I'll give you an example. Let's look back a little bit. Don't talk about our own prime ministers that we're working with today. Let's go look at U.S. election. Majority of the people did not like Trump and his persona. And so they voted for weaker individuals, people with bad policies. And I would even go further, like Joe Biden, what did you love about the guy? Like he was weird at best. He sniffed kids.
I'll bet you're as bright as you're good looking. By the way, he gave me permission to touch it.
He just had a weird demeanor. And I never understood why people got behind a guy that was that weird. But it was an emotional safe space for so many people to vote for Biden versus Trump. Trump had this personality because he was a business guy and he was ruthless in business. Now, did he do business well? Would I like to do business with him? No, I wouldn't. No. For so many people, they got emotionally behind Biden because he was safe versus Trump. Do you realize in the last 50 years that if women did not vote, it would have been Republicans for the last 50 years? Because what happens is that women vote more emotional. Problem is we built a whole society of beta men. So now you don't just have women voting emotionally, you have women and men voting emotionally. And if you watch the behavioral patterns of everybody, what you'll focus on is realize like there's countries like Venezuela. Okay, if you look at that pattern, what happened there? Venezuela was a country that was one of the highest oil reserves in South America. Should have been super wealthy. They went around saying, hey, we'll put a chicken in everybody's pot. And everybody got excited about that. And now their life is misery. Corruption throughout the whole country. Now they're like, emotionally, this is crazy. Why do we have this guy? They're emotionally back on side to get rid of that person. But now it's a communist country that's not able to change. Canada, we done the exact same thing. We don't like a certain person and how they show up. They may be too strong, too stiff, too not enough charisma. And so we walk away from that person despite even looking at their platform. I'd ask all of you, have you looked at the platforms of the different options you actually had? Did you actually look at the options? Did you actually look at the platforms? No, I bet you none of you did. You looked at the emotional character of the person and what CNN told you and their emotional take on stuff. And that's what got you excited. But let me tell you what happened. 10 years of bad policies that made you all broke. That made everyone broke here that was in middle or lower class. Made middle class low class, basically. And you didn't like those policies. And so what happened, you're like, no, we're not doing the liberal government. Well, it so happened that Trudeau resigns 6 months ago because his policies sucked. And after 8 or 10 years of having terrible policies, you were done with the guy. And then what happens? A new face comes into town. He's like, no, this guy's good. You know, he's done great for so many people. And he didn't even bother checking his history. He didn't bother checking what his experiences, what his results, and said, no, everything's fine. He has the same cabinet. And also, you will just watch right now. He took off the tax, carbon tax. It's going to go back on. The freedom of speech on the first day after his election is getting squashed right now. But you all got excited behind it because you liked who he was. Pierre Poilievre, he had a great policy. Not the best. I voted for PPC, People's Party of Canada, because I believe their platform more aligned who I am, what I wanted. I don't know the gentleman very well, but their platform aligned with what I wanted. I would have voted Trump all day long in America. Even the first election, I was all behind Trump because of his policy. There's times in life to be emotional, but election isn't one of them. But the problem is that we have raised a whole bunch of people that were so soft, and we've actually built a culture around encouraging and promoting soft people. Now we have women that are stronger than men and mentally emotional. And we're trying to make decisions now based off a whole culture that runs on emotions. That's the issue we're dealing with. That's the issue we're dealing with in our election. And we're going to continue that until you're all broke and done for And then you're going to raise a group of strong men again that are going to stand up and say enough's enough. But you haven't went far enough. You haven't got broke enough because you're staying satisfied on basic low lifestyles. They're giving you the basic things in life, but nothing that you could get excited behind, but you're still being satisfied by that. When you're living in a day and age when technology is there that you could live the best life your grandparents would ever love to live. When it's cheaper than ever to actually go and build and grow something, that efficiencies are better than ever. Technology is there for that. To the point now they're going to build robots to do the most of our work. And yet you're still driven by emotions because you actually have become so soft that you can't actually make a decision on your own. Anyways, if you like what I talk about, you like what I'm sharing, or you don't, if you hate, you disagree with me, put the comments below. If you do like it, subscribe, hit that like button so others can follow along. Till next time.